And the two fighters introduced, obviously the more popular one here, Glenn, is going to be Damian Jonak, who comes into the ring with a record of 12-0, 9 by knockout, right here fighting in his home area of Silesia. Both guys are right-handers. You get a look at the tail of the tape. Not much to distinguish. There is a slight weight advantage for Jonak, who tipped the scales at 153, right around the junior middleweight, light middleweight limit. Schubov comes in at a fit and trim 148 pounds. Here's round one, scheduled for 10 for the WBC Youth Light Middleweight Championship, and perhaps more importantly, Glenn, to establish which one of these fine young prospects is about to take that step forward and move on.
You know, both of these guys are young. I don't know if it's for the youth boxing, if it's the age or the
number of bouts, yeah. It's one of those things where everything is a championship, but it gives these guys some incentive, as we were talking about, to get in there and perform and maybe use this as a springboard for bigger and better things. Right now, the jab of Damian Jonak looks a little bit better than that of Michael Schubov, as Schubov appears a little bit tentative here in front of Jonak's large gathering that has shown up here tonight to watch him fight for this championship.
Well, right here he's using his jab, he's stepping in. He's trying to find room for the right hand.
Couple crisp jabs and fires it right, does Jonak. Schubov shaking it off in a defensive posture. A little bit of a peekaboo style, as both hands held very high.
He seems a little bit stiff, though. He's using his jab like he's unsure. Michael I'm talking about. He's using his jab like he's unsure, kind of not throwing the punches all the way out. You know, kind of feeling with it. And he's mainly staying in a defensive position. He's not trying to throw offense.
Backing up so far through the first half of round number one is Schubov. Jonak's been able to dictate the pace, mostly with the jab. A couple of body shots offered up by Schubov. Nothing particularly effective here through 2 minutes.
He's trying to use the right hand to the body.
Good exchange there in the center of the ring. And the first major clash of the fight. Schubov getting the better of it and continues to press the pace. Right hand scores. Jonak still trying to work the jab. He's been pressing forward. Has the bigger knockout power. Swinging for the fences there. Schubov tries to come back, but ineffective. And Jonak backs him up once again. Good snapping jab so far by Damian Jonak. Throws a big right hand and rocks Schubov back against the ropes. Just missed a home run ball there, Glenn.
Yeah, I like the way how that Damian is using his jab, he's using his combination. He's throwing punches in bunches, and he's looking good here.
Well, if he wanted to set a tone for this title matchup, certainly he's done so in round number one. A big one for the local favorite here, Damian Jonak. And a fairly easy round to score, as you looked at Jonak's work early on in the round, establishing the jab, and then later on coming on with some power punches, and he landed the more effective blows and more frequently. Speaking Polish in the corner, I want to ask you to interpret, Glenn, but I'm sure they're telling him, hey, very nice job, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. He really has set the tone for this fight and established a good, quick pace.
Well, all of the countries that I visit, Poland, unfortunately, haven't been one of them. So just here for the first time tonight, so I haven't learned any language yet.
You're a veritable Berlitz course with your career in boxing so far. Here's action from round number one. You see the good short left hand, and you see the inherent power for Jonak. You can see why he's established himself early on as a knockout artist. As you said, Schubov forced to cover up. Here's the second round. Good action in round number one. And once again, Jonak comes out firing missiles here in the second round. Schubov hasn't really found a range yet, Glenn. What's he have to do to get inside this power-punching Damian Jonak?
Well, he got to establish his jab, and he got to start throwing punches. He's just going back and allowing Damian to set up shots. And that's the last thing you want to do with a punch.
Big right hand lands right on the button. And down goes Schubov for the first time. He tastes the canvas and perhaps tasting some dangerous territory ahead early in round number 2. On time to try and survive. We'll see if that knockdown was effective and shook up Michael Schubov.
You cannot let a puncher set up his power shots.
Another good right hand lands. Shakes up Schubov once again. Daniel Vanderweel, fine European referee. We've seen him before in many European bouts. And he advises the fighters to watch the heads, then issues a warning to Jonak, who's coming on strongly here in this second round. Another right hand. And he appears to be throwing punches with mean intentions. And he's starting to find a mark, taking a little batting practice here in round number 2.
And it looked like there's a cut on the right side of Michael.
See some blood trickling from the eye. Don't know the severity of it yet as he's covering up a posture he's been in since the opening bell. Still trying to bring it, though.
He's a little bit too stiff, though. He's not throwing enough punches. He's just in that stiff peekaboo style, and he don't have no fluent to his boxing.
You can see the fundamental soundness of Damian Jonak. This guy really looks promising here. Can he capitalize on that early second round knockdown of Michael Schubov? Backs him up into the corner. Schubov having trouble landing, having trouble getting inside, and unable to cut the distance so he can get some of those body shots home and maybe stave off this onslaught that we've seen from Damian Jonak. Oh, big right hand. And down goes Schubov for the second time. 37 seconds to go. You see the blood trickling from the eye. The crowd senses this could be a quick ending to this title fight. Can Schubov survive, Glenn Johnson? He is definitely hurt. Here comes Jonak to try and put an exclamation point on it.
He's certainly attacking him right now. And the only thing that's saving him is the fact that he have good defense with that peekaboo style. But his offense is not part of what's saving him because he's not using enough offense to get Damian off of it.
Inside 5 seconds. Looks like Schubov will make it to round number 3. He wrestles his way out of trouble, and they go to the corners. Big, big round for Damian Jonak.
Damian is just showing his craft in this fight. He's using his jab, and he's using the big right hand over the top, and he's having some body shots in there. He's looking good tonight.
Tremendous action. You're looking at a young fighter that's been in trouble, been on the deck a couple of times. Probably trails by as many as 4 points on the scorecards after losing the first round, and then 2 knockdowns. Here's a look at it. Good right hand, a real roundhouse.
Good right hand over the top. Kind of put it over the shoulder just to get it there into the chin. And there go Michael on the ground.
If Schubov doesn't turn his head slightly, he probably is iced at that point. And the second shot, more on the temple around the ear area. And you have a fighter who was dazed once, knocked down once earlier, and then goes down hard for the second time.
And I'm surprised he didn't hurt his leg. He fall awkwardly, with his leg under, kind of wrap to his butt there as he fell down. And that's how you could hurt your knee.
Well, Damian Jonak has to be feeling it now. He's got the crowd behind him. He's got a couple of knockdowns behind him. As we step into round number 3, could be some very tough turf here for Michael Schubov. We'll see if he can rally. So far hasn't shown us much offense. Hasn't really had an opportunity to get off too many punches.
Well, the opportunity is there. He's just not throwing the punches. Like right there, he could be stepping in, throwing jabs, and try to throw a right hand over the top. But he's stepping back just in that peekaboo, stiff body structure, just kind of trying to protect himself. He's not trying to do nothing right there. While Damian is just stepping to him and just looking for the big shots. Damian is not using his jab as well as I would like to see him use it, but he's using it enough for the guy that's in front of him.
How difficult, Glenn, is it for, especially a young guy early in your career, to fight off this kind of adversity? Constant pressure coming from Jonak. You've been on the deck. Crowd is smelling blood and seeing blood. And here you are just trying to scramble your way through round number 3 and get your senses back. It's not easy to follow your fundamentals, I would imagine, at that point.
Well, it's not. You have everybody against you. The audience is against you. The guy that's in front of you is against you.
He's a nightmare right now.
It's definitely. I mean, you have to.
The big right.
Oh, big right hand.
He's sticking it in there.
You have to be able to keep his composure, go back to fundamentals, use what he has, what he's been taught over the years that he's been boxing, and know that regardless of what the situation you're in, that's the only thing that's going to bail you out of trouble is your skills.
Moving kind of awkwardly at this point, too, around the ring. Not sure which direction to go to try and avoid this attack from Damian Jonak. Gets the left hand in, and maybe that can help him turn it around.
Well, give him a little bit of respect, but he's not doing that enough. And if he do that a little bit more often, it would get this guy off of him and not attacking so much.
I think he needs a round to clear his head. He's got to be seeing stars at this point. Maybe some cobwebs he has to shake loose. Uppercut. Good short right hand inside by Jonak, who continues to apply immense pressure. And I think that's been part of the problem for Schubov. I don't know that he's seen this kind of pressure before. From a tactically sound fighter.
He's definitely under some serious pressure, but he's not getting hit as much as he could be getting hit. You know, he's just attacking Damian, just attacking, but he's not throwing a bunch of punches right now. I think he's kind of falling behind where I hurt this guy so much, and he's not trying to waste no punches. He's throwing a power jab instead of just throwing a jab.
Inside of 20 seconds, round number 3 scheduled for 10 rounds. Couple of right hands to finish things off. Big statement being made for the judges here by Jonak. And if there was any doubt that Jonak was well ahead in round number 3, he certainly sent the point home that the judges hammered it home on the face of Schubov there at the tail end.
He came back and tried to close that round with a statement, with about 4 good punches at the end of it.
And quickly, the scorecards are becoming a mounting problem for Michael Schubov. You had to make the 2 knockdown round a 10-7 round. So I have him already through 3 rounds, 5 points down. It's going to be hard for him to win a decision. He's going to have to find some kind of way to reverse this trend and get back into the fight, and maybe score a knockout to win.
And plus, this fight, even though it's a title fight, is a 10-rounder, which is a little bit unheard of. It's a little bit funny. Normally, a title fight is a 12-rounder, so that's give him less rounds to work with. So you need to do some damage and do it early.
You get the action from round number 3. Here we go in round number 4. The youth title probably dictating and mandating the 10-round distance. Actually, I thank you for picking it up for me because I got a little confused. You saw the hesitation there. You're thinking of a title fight almost always routinely as being 12 rounds.
Yeah, definitely. And we have to give these guys credit for coming out here with their young career. They don't have a lot of fights under their belt, and they certainly don't have the age at this stage. They're stepping it up against good competition, finding in each other.
Great setting here in Katowice. Polish fans very zealous about their boxing, and they love this kid here. He's from their home region of Silesia. So far, a stunning performance. Very stellar job by Damian Jonak. Is there anything from a fundamental or tactical standpoint that you think Schubov could do to try and reverse this quickly? It seems like he has to land a bomb or just decide that he's going to offset this pressure with pressure of his own. I don't know that he can win this fight backing up and going into that protective shell, as you say, the peekaboo style of Floyd Patterson.
Well, he certainly cannot win the fight doing what he's doing right now.
With a body shot, another good combination in that flurry by Jonak. He doesn't have the answers yet, Glenn. He hasn't figured it out.
He needs to use his jab to keep distance. And Damian fall in. As much as he do good work, he fall in sometimes. And that's where he would like to throw some body shots. When the guy fall in, he's off balance, and he's right on top of you, throw short inside shots into the body, and you throw long punches on the outside. Right now, he's not using the jab. Damian don't have nothing to respect. He's basically trying to throw power punches as a counter punch after Damian works, so Damian don't have anything to worry about as he step into him. Just have to worry about punches after he hit him.
Schubov tries to fire a combination, both punches blocked by Jonak, who's dominated the early stages of this fight, scored a couple of knockdowns in round number 2. Schubov was able to get off the canvas. There was a cut that seems to be controlled well by the corner people. But this cannot be a comfortable position for Michael Schubov to be in. Probably the first time that he has trailed so badly in the early stages of a fight in his young career. They say, Glenn, that's a test of a champion. At some point in time, you're going to have to deal with a guy that just comes out stronger.
Oh, he threw a wild uppercut. And you have to find a way to start landing some punches here. You know, just doing one punch at a time, not going to do it.
Been tentative throughout, had good reason to be. Strong performance by Damian Jonak. Game, Michael Schubov hanging in there, trying to find an answer to the problem that has been in front of him for 4 rounds. Another good round, Glenn, for Damian Jonak. As you say, a little artillery being offered in defense by Michael Schubov, and he's going to have to land some of those body shots or maybe take some more chances.
He definitely need to start establish himself, use his jab, use right hand, and when Damian fall in, he could throw some body shots because Damian do have over pursue a lot of times, and you give yourself an opportunity to throw body shots when you do that. But Michael is not capitalizing on any of his mistakes. He's just trying to stay covered up, as you can see right here. All he's doing is just covering up his head. I don't think he's even looking at Damian.
And you can see, typical of the power puncher, Damian Jonak likes to toss that jab out there, but his big weapon is that right hand. And he's landing it to the body, he's landing it to the head, he's landing it frequently and effectively. Here's round number 5. So far, it's been all Damian Jonak in this fight. Scored 2 knockdowns, has won every round on my scorecard. And I don't know that even Stevie Wonder could have given a round to Michael Schubov so far, but we've seen stranger things happen in judging. Once you get to the pencil, that could be a bewildering experience, even for the best of fighters. Glenn, you know that firsthand.
Well, it's difficult. But in this situation, I can see Michael winning any rounds. He's not working. He's not keeping the fight close or the round close. And Damian is the guy that's in his hometown. So if anybody going to get the benefit of the doubt, it's going to be Damian. And he's winning the rounds clearly. So Michael is definitely behind the gun right now. And he's not doing anything to change it.
And the fight's being contested at a very fast pace. And that can really be tough if you're on the losing end of most of these exchanges, as Schubov has been. He's not only being forced to step it up, but while he's getting tagged frequently, he knows that if he's going to compete with this guy, he's going to have to pick up his pace to an even higher level. That's not easy to do when you're getting hammered like that.
Well, he have to put his feet down, start stepping into a couple of jabs, and he's jumping in right now, which allowing Damian to throw combinations at him when he jump in. Kind of catch him halfway off the mat and mid-air. It's not the right thing to do. You want to step in when you throw punches, not jumping.
And you can almost tangibly see the confidence from Damian Jonak emerging here with each successive round. Another good body shot combination. 1-2. Finishes off the exchange with a move to the head, working him inside now, left to the body, trying to come upstairs with that home run ball. Minute to go, round number 5. Pace has been blistering. Schubov's been game, but Jonak's been the better fighter, Glenn.
Yeah, he's using combinations. I would like to see him throw more punches and use more jabs, but he's stocking and he's throwing in between punches. He's trying to use proper timing, and he's successful with it right now. And you don't have a guy in front of him to make him change. So Michael really not doing anything but trying to move and get out of the way, and just trying to survive. And in my opinion, I think he's just trying not to get hurt anymore. He got knocked down twice, and he's doing everything he can not to hit the mat anymore.
And when there are opportunities, as you've been alluded to, Glenn, it doesn't seem like Schubov is in a position or has the ability at this stage to capitalize. It's not as if Jonak is unhittable.
Well, right there, he tried to throw punches off guard, and I guess he's getting a little more confident now. He throw more punches there than any other round.
Another dominant round there for Damian Jonak. You're wondering, with 3 knockouts on his resume in 11 fights, if this is a guy in Michael Schubov, who we're looking at right now. Corner's done a nice job on that eye, but it's starting to swell up underneath also. which could be troubling. If that thing closes, compromises his chances all the more. But you're just wondering if he has the ability to turn this fight around with one punch. It's probably getting to the stage, even though we're midway through the fight, Glenn, where it's too late for him to try and grind out any kind of decision.
Yeah, here as you can see, he's getting hit to the body. More combination. Another shot to the body there. And I don't see him doing anything to win decision. And as far as his reputation from the past, doesn't show any power punching to knock this guy out. And anything can happen in a boxing match. But right now he's behind the 8-ball a lot.
Past the midway point, the scheduled 10-rounder. There's a title at stake, even though it is a 10-round fight, as we told you. The WBC Youth Light Middleweight Championship is on the line here, and right now that belt would belong to Damian Jonak if they stop the fight. Schubov's been on the deck a couple of times. Both those knockdowns occurring in round number 2. He's been cut, as you saw, between rounds. Good job by the corner controlling that. The swelling could become a factor. And what really needs to become a factor is some kind of offense being mounted by Schubov if he's going to turn this around. It's been a dominating performance so far by Damian Jonak. Real impressive.
Yeah, definitely. It looks good. He's doing, and, you know, I'm a bit surprised that these guys are not sliding around and falling down on this mat here. You know, they certainly have a lot of advertising. They look like a plastic kind of mat. And they've been doing a good job. And maybe this mat is better than I thought it was. But, you know, oh, and as I say that.
You are clairvoyant, Glenn Johnson. And, you know, we've seen this a lot in boxing with the advertising. Obviously, you need financial support to put these matches together. And there's a lot that goes into it. There's an excessive amount of advertising in the ring. And if you look, you can see a shiny surface. They have a plastic cover over the normal canvas, which could be treacherous as the ring gets a little bit soaked from the fighter's sweat. And the natural water that is brought out of the corner. We've seen one slip so far, but you would think that commissions and people that rule boxing would favor the traction in the ring for safety purposes as much as anything over some of the advertising that's out there. And this is a particularly slippery surface, as you said.
It certainly looks slippery, and I would believe that more sliding and falling down will be happening. But so far, it seems like it's working. And, you know, I'm sure as it gets wet, as the fights go on and more sweat and more water get on the surface, it's going to be a little more slippery.
Jonak loves that jab, right cross, or straight right hand combination. Throws it effectively. He's thrown it with confidence. Continues to back up Schubov. Schubov has to be seeing question marks in front of him. He just can't figure this guy out. He hasn't been able to get off. We know he's a good fighter. And he's still hanging in there. He's taking a lot of punishment. He's trying, but he just can't find the range.
Well, he's trying to throw a counter punch, and he looked like he's just swinging widely at times because the punch that he's throwing is not there. Good body shot by Damian.
Excellent flurry, mostly downstairs by Jonak. Peppering the face of Schubov. Schubov tries to fire back. And Schubov is officially game here at the end of round 6. We got a good one breaking out here in the middle of the ring.
That's right. He finally decided to throw some punches and trade and have some success. Not the kind of success he would like, but he landed a couple of punches there, which is, he needs to do more of that.
Long road if Michael Schubov wants to win this championship. Damian Jonak, hometown favorite, undefeated, 12 wins, 9 knockouts. He's had an excellent career so far, well guided by his management team, and he appears to be in a favorable matchup tonight. Here's action from round number 6. This one fought at a blistering pace. You did see Schubov get the left hand in there to start that exchange.
That's what you have to do. I mean, you know, Damian throw wide punches at times, and you can catch it right there. You see a right hand over the top. And if he do more stuff like this, he have a better chance of landing punches. But if he keep waiting, it's not going to happen.
As you mentioned, the ring conditions could be compromising to a guy who's trying to get inside, get that plant foot established as he moves his left foot forward. It looks like when he's in the pocket, he might be able to land an uppercut to Jonak, but it seems like he might be watching that chance slip away just because of the conditions in there. You can see the left foot is having trouble getting a grip on the canvas now.
Well, he's more concerned himself about getting away from Damian more than he is planning on a way how to hit Damian and to put him down and try to get a knockout or start doing something to win a decision. And, he's more defensive-minded than he is offensive-minded.
We're in round number 7. Michael Schubov appears to be up against it so far in the black trunks. We'll see if that late flurry in round number 6 can be a catalyst for his confidence and maybe for his offense as we get to the late stages of this fight. It's been a good one all the way, but a dominating performance by Damian Jonak against a game and talented Michael Schubov. Schubov has been bottled up the entire fight. Starting to show a little bit more right now, Glenn. Maybe coming out of his shell a little bit.
Well, he's realizing now that he has to start throwing some punches. He's starting to take a little more chance. And he's still not doing enough to win the fight, though. I would like to see him go in there and try to throw combinations while Damian is throwing combinations. Catch and throw those punches over. Damian get wide a little bit. He could definitely land punches over the top and on the inside.
Daniel Vanderweel, the third man in the ring, again warning the boxers about watching their heads. Stopped them a couple of times in this fight. There is a cut that is a factor that came from a punch, we believe, in the second round as Damian Jonak just hammered Michael Schubov almost in a submission. Schubov did a good job to survive. He had about 30 seconds after that second knockdown. And there you see him slipping as he tries to come out of that action in the center of the ring.
Well, he threw a wide overhand right that even him realized was a ridiculous punch after he threw it.
Good pulsating jab there by Damian Jonak. He goes back to the fundamentals, controlling the pace of this fight, dictating the pace with immense pressure. Good job with the jab. We know he loves that right hand of his. And really hasn't had to taste too much leather so far coming from Michael Schubov. He's only landed a handful of effective blows in the fight. And Damian is throwing a strong jab. And that's one of the reasons why he's not jabbing as much as you would like to see him, because he's throwing that strong jab, almost like a right hand. Another wild exchange at the tail end of round number 7. This one heating up. Here in Katowice. That's the second round in a row where Michael Schubov maybe said to himself, enough's enough. I'm going to do something to turn this thing around. Great action at the end of the last couple of rounds.
Well, he's moving around for 2.5 minutes and try to use 30 seconds to try and make a statement. And it's hard to win a fight like that when you're not using the rest of the round to dictate and try to close the show at the end. He's just moving around too much and not doing anything for too long, and that's why I'm not giving him the round, even though he tried to close it nicely.
Well, you can't win the round if you're only fighting for 10 seconds at the end, unless you're Oscar De La Hoya. But if you look at what's going on, and you're in the corner of Michael Schubov, if Glenn Johnson is training Michael Schubov right now, how do you get a fighter, how do you communicate to him that you need to start the round quickly because it's becoming more and more of a twilight zone on the scorecards, your opportunity to win this fight? He needs to get off early in the round and maybe do some of that late activity in the first minute or so.
Well, I would say to him, I said, listen, do you want to win this fight? You certainly have the ability to throw the punches. You do it for 30 seconds in each round. I would like to see you go out there and start the round the same way you finish it. Go out there and establish yourself and don't stop. Just keep going at it until you get this guy out of here.
And maybe you got your message, comes out a little bit more forceful here in round number 8, scheduled for 10. WBC Youth Light Middleweight Championship is on the line. One of these guys is going to come out of the ring with a belt. It looks like it's going to be Damian Jonak so far, but very game effort. In spite of the domination of Jonak, game effort so far by Michael Schubov. You can't discredit this kid. He's fighting with a lot of guts.
Well, it's not an atmosphere for him, and he's coming out here trying to do what he can, but I still think he could do a better job. He seems like he have the ability to do a better job of just sticking to it a little bit more and throw more punches and try to make this fight more difficult for Damian.
He's not going to do it that way, as he blocks a punch with his head. And that's kind of been the story of this fight. Anytime Schubov offers up any kind of offense, he finds himself having to protect himself.
He's not doing anything. He's just stepping forward, his hands up. Right there, try to throw an uppercut. Try another one. But that's only 2 punches in a minute. 3 punches.
Jonak showing no signs of fatigue so far. Both guys in terrific shape, as you can see. Pace has been lightning quick right from the opening bell. Schubov trying to push him into punching range and get that uppercut off. I think he's found something that he thinks he can succeed with. I mentioned that earlier. He was having trouble getting his traction with his plant foot, and the uppercut looked like a vulnerable spot for Jonak. Schubov hasn't been able to capitalize, but he's starting to take advantage now.
Ooh. Well, he's stepping to him and he's throwing wild punches. He's not throwing punches that he set up. You know, he stepped to him and used his jab and set something up and throw it the same intensity. He might catch him, but he's just swinging widely and you know, he's throwing uppercut, and he could get a counter punch from that miss that will really put him back down on the canvas.
As you watch Jonak, you see someone who can emerge in a very tough weight class. He's fighting in the 154-pound division. Maybe because of his youth, he ends up fighting as a middleweight. You see the type of skills in this kid early on that might give us a prelude to looking at a champion. 10 seconds to go. We'll get into that in round number 9. As we come to the close of round 8, again, action-packed flurry to close out the round. And Schubov looks like he bolstered his opinion of himself at the tail end of that. He's fought well for about 30 seconds in this fight. He's closed out the last 3 rounds with a winning flurry.
Exactly. Well, you know, he's doing the right thing for 30 seconds. What I think he should do more of throughout the round, and it would give him himself a better chance of winning the round and establish himself more. And he have the ability to do it for 30 seconds unless he have conditional problems. If he's not in good condition, he should be able to do it longer than 30 seconds.
You get the better of that particular exchange as he actually beat Jonak to the punch, landed a good right hand. Here you get more action from round number 8. Schubov scrambling to try and get back into this fight. I don't know about you, Glenn, but I have Jonak winning virtually every round and having a 10-7 round in round 2 when he scored a couple of knockdowns. So we're getting into the last 2 rounds of this fight. I would think it's desperation time for Michael Schubov if he intends to come out of here with a W.
Michael needs to throw the punches the way how he's closing each round, and he needs to do that from the middle of the round, if not from the beginning of the round. And he'll have some success, because when he does that, you can see he land a few punches out of the 8 punches that he throw. He land 2 or 3 punches out of it. So that means there's opportunities there to land those punches if he fight that kind of fight.
It's been a good effort all the way around. Both fighters. Damian Jonak came out just firing from both sides. Really controlled the pace in the early stages of the fight. Had that big round in round number 2. Looked like it might end right there. Since that time, it's been kind of a chess match of Schubov trying to figure out how he could land something effective and get himself back into this fight, as we have 2 minutes to go in round number 9. Fighting in Jonak's home turf here in Katowice. Good crowd on hand tonight. Seems to be wildly appreciative of the action in this fight. A good combination. Center of the ring by Damian Jonak, unanswered, 3 punches. Vanderweel hasn't been too busy in this fight. A couple of warnings for possible head clashes. And other than that, he's been out of the way.
He's doing a good job. He's doing a good job. And Damian is dominating the fight. Michael is not doing anything. Here he's walking forward like he's about to do something. Threw a decent hook, couple of jabs, but he needs to do more of that.
Only about 4 minutes left for Michael Schubov to try and pull off what would appear to be almost a miracle if he can come back and win this thing. A wrestling scrum, and then again you see more evidence, Glenn, of how slippery things are in the center of the ring. That seems to have escalated throughout the fight.
Well, I know as the surface get more wet, and as we say that, there goes something dangerous. The guy losing both of his legs from under him.
Looked like an episode of Dancing or Skating with the Stars there. That's been the only lull in the action, the slip here of Damian Jonak. It's been relentless pressure by Jonak throughout the fight, perhaps slowing up a little bit here in round number 9. And for one of the few times since the opening bell, Glenn, we see Schubov coming forward and actually backing up Damian Jonak.
Well, if he would step into this guy and try to create more of a fight, he would be in a better position this stage of the fight.
And at the end of round 9,
he's fighting again. Like
great exchange to finish things out. You gotta love it.
For the last 3 or 4 rounds, he's been closing the round pretty well.
Well, trying to be objective about it, and I certainly had no rooting interest coming into this fight. Two good young fighters, as we see two lovely young ladies. I get a little distracted as we're talking about my scorecard, but I actually gave that round to Michael Schubov, and that's the first one I have him scoring 10 points in.
Well, that round, he made a good effort, and he tried to do it in a longer time frame, and that's probably why you could make an argument for that round.
And there you see how slippery the ring has become throughout the course of this fight. It's been increasingly so. Both guys having trouble getting their traction. That can make it difficult to follow up. Schubov looked like he had finally achieved a small advantage in round number 9. Here's the 10th and final. This has been a good one. Crowd cheering. They got the local favorite here, Damian Jonak, who hails from the Silesia region. Here's round 10. This is the 10th and final, even though it's a championship bout. See the guys scrambling to get their footing. Damian Jonak. We have him impressively ahead, and I would think Schubov needs a knockout to win this on the scorecards. Jonak in the white trunks and Schubov in the black with the red flames. He's going to have to catch fire if he's going to win this fight.
Well,
there they go down again, and this ring has become atrocious in terms of how slippery it is. You see the corner man almost as if he's at an NBA game there, mopping up under the basket. And the crowd getting a little impatient with this. They're seeing a good fight, and they seem to be very appreciative of the effort these two fighters are putting out. You hate to see it compromised by an abundance of advertising in the ring.
There you go again.
Well, you spotted this early on, Glenn Johnson. Haven't been in a lot of European arenas in your life. I don't know if this is more common on the other side of the pond, but it's getting to be very difficult for these two guys to compete.
Oh.
And you see Jonak sliding away as he tries to land. Schubov coming on. Crowd getting into it.
Oh. Another slip.
Well, we still have our championship fight to come, and you're wondering if these ring conditions are going to prevail. I don't know what they can do to clean this thing up. Should have thrown some sawdust out there and making it look like they're fighting at a fruit stand.
Well, it depends on the time between the two fights and if they could mop it up and give it some time to dry. And it's like starting all over again. At the end of the other fight, in the 10th and 11th and 12th round, they're going to end up in the same situation as these guys are in right now.
We have a minute to go in what's been an entertaining and fast-paced fight. Damian Jonak, Michael Schubov putting on a good show. You hate to see it compromised by the conditions of the ring. Right now, both fighters just ignoring what's going on downstairs and concentrating on fist flying upstairs. Wild finish here to this light middleweight youth championship fight. Schubov getting brave, and you know what, even I could see that was a slip.
This is ridiculous.
I think Werner will, it's a very tough go for these two young fighters to have a fight end up like this in these conditions. You would think maybe fighting outdoors if there was a rainstorm. I've seen that in championship fights, but rarely inside will you see a ring deteriorate to this little traction. inside, 10 seconds to go. This has been the MO of this fight for the last 5 rounds. Both guys going crazy. And there it is, the final bell. And an excellent championship tilt here between 2 young guys. No matter who comes out the winner, and I think it's going to be Jonak. And I thought he won it convincingly. But both of these guys have to bolster their careers with an effort like this.
Well, it's a learning process for both guys. And the guy that win the fight, which I think is Damian, going to come out feel like he accomplished something. And Michael going to feel like he stepped up and he wasn't ready and he needs some work. You got to go back to the gym and work on a few things. Damian knows that he have to go back and work on a few things too, but he have a better attitude going back into the ring, into the gym, and work on what he have to work on.
You can see this is no easy job, no easy payday. Just look at the right eye, both above and below. Michael Schubov, that's the 2nd time in a row he stepped up in company. He sustained his only loss in his previous fight, and that came against Ante Bilic, who came in with a 15-1 record. So his management has decided to test him. He's faced 2 tough tests in a row, and I think he might have sustained his 2nd loss in this one. At least that's the way I have it, by a substantial margin. As we said, this is home turf. You see how popular Damian Jonak is. You would think that the judges would concur.
Well, with Damian, you know, even if he was in the Michael hometown, I still believe he would come out with the win in this fight. He certainly showed himself. He have a different skill level. He knocked the guy down twice. It's a 10-round fight, and he dominated most of the rounds. Hard to see. It's hard for me to see the judges see the fight any other way.
And you certainly know the pain that can come with that experience, having tasted many a loss in your career where everybody thought you dominated, and then you end up shocked.
And you know the difference in my fights that I dominate my fights by beating the guy throughout the rounds. But in Damian's case, he have 2 knockdowns, even though those knockdowns come up in the same round. And it's not 2 different rounds where you would have 2 8-round rounds, but it's still at least 1 round where it should be a 7-10 round.
Now we'll get the scoring. For my money, a fairly easy decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 championship rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards, where Judge Damian Jonak scores this bout 96-92.
Sędzia punktowy Leszek Jankowiak, 96-91.
Judge Leszek Jankowiak scores this bout 96-91.
Sędzia punktowy Jarosław Bruzio, 96-92.
And the judge Mirosław Bruzio scores this bout 96-92.
Panie I panowie, zwycięzcą i nowym młodzieżowym mistrzem świata Federacji WBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by unanimous decision and the new WBC Youth Light Middleweight Champion
is
Damian.
Well, the scoring a little curious. All 3 judges found 4 rounds that they were able to give to Schubov. Had a maybe with a stretch winning the last 2 rounds of the fight in very close scoring. 96 points to 92 on 2 of the cards, 96-91 on the other. But they got it right in the ultimate finale as Damian Jonak gets a well-deserved WBC Youth Light Middleweight Championship belt and perhaps projects himself further into the picture with a little bit more experience.